Hello and welcome to this video. We have a current audience of two, one being you, the other is my neighbor who has her window open right now, doing a Zoom call with a camera facing directly into my room. I have my blinds closed, but sometimes it still scares me that she can see through them, and that'll end up being butt naked nasty in the back of her Zoom, and then that means I'm attending a corporate meeting naked. Oh my god, I'm never gonna get promoted. I've been really getting into funky clothes recently. Funky colors, funky patterns. So the other day when I went thrifting, I had the intention of finding some good pieces that I know I can put into my wardrobe, primarily of the funky breed. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of people flipping button-up, like men's button-up shirts. I was like, oh wow, I really want to do that. So I got a button-up shirt. So the one I found is this, kind of hard to see on camera, but it's purple. And I was really loving this top of this collar where the buttons are connected to the shirt. I've been seeing a lot of Vivienne Westwood inspired clothing or Vivienne Westwood clothing. It's been coming into style a lot more recently, I think probably because Vivienne is sort of like a maximalist like icon, and we've been seeing a lot with like the keychain debacle, or what's it called? The bag chain debacle. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Do whatever you want. So first things first, you gotta put it on, see how it fits in its current state, and then we will go from there. I feel like I look like the mom from The Princess Diaries. Wait, especially with this skirt on. All right, so here is the state of the shirt. Super big, super boxy. Not loving that. I'm also not loving this pocket. This thing is coming off. I have no need. I don't carry pens around. So my inspiration that I settled on, this shirt, blouse, you could call it. I'm not gonna do it exactly like this because obviously like I don't have the capabilities to do that, but just that shape I like. And also this is just the inspiration. It's not gonna look anything like that. Let me just tell you that. It's not gonna look anything like that. It's probably gonna look way worse. Getting rid of all of this. This is all coming in. I'm also thinking, because I'm gonna have a lot of extra fabric with this, that I want to do a little, like make a flower, very Sex and the City inspired. We'll see if I can do that. I'm pretty sure that's not that hard to make like a little like stacked flower look. First thing I'm gonna do is cut the sleeves off. I don't need the sleeves, but I'm just gonna freehand it. Sorry. The worst thing about sewing is like, I already don't like putting clothes on and off, trying on outfits, and I just get overwhelmed. Now that my sleeves are gone, the magic can finally start happening. Basically, I just need to find a way to do this to the shirt. Okay, if I do something like this, my issue is I'm looking at this right now, I feel like I'm starting to look like young Sheldon. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I think this is starting to look like young Sheldon. Okay, I have to think about this for a second. Also, real quick, I feel like we need to acknowledge how we got to this point. Let's talk about the Harry Potter to Helena Bonham Carter to fashion to Vivienne Westwood pipeline. Because I love to dress funky like that. And I'm almost positive that it's from the fact that I loved Harry Potter when I was younger. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, okay, as I was stressing about how to not look like young Sheldon, I took the pocket off. I don't remember what side it was on now, but I took the pocket off. I think I know my game plan. So I want to keep the collar intact. And last time I tried to modify a shirt totally entirely, I took the neckline off, and then that kind of just like fucked me over majorly. I'm gonna cut along the side of the shirt to make it open, but I'm going to leave the top sleeves attached. I think I kind of want it to be like hip length, so it's not like a cropped shirt at all. Also, cutting the sleeves off was a little bit, how do you say, irresponsible. I definitely need them off regardless, but I probably could have kept them on while I was thinking about it instead of being like, oh, I need to take the fucking sleeves off. So where I marked where I'm going to cut the bottom off, just a little bit below my belly button. Even though I do have a shirt as a reference guide, I am still going to take my measurements just because I feel like that'll kind of help me visualize it better instead of just hoping and praying that this works with a shirt, because I've used like shirt references before and then it didn't fucking work because I'm not always the brightest. So first we're going to do our shoulders, the width across. And I feel like a good way whenever you're measuring your shoulders is to go like a little bit like halfway into like your shoulder to where the shirt would wrap around, so you just have a little bit of extra space instead of just actually doing the width of your shoulders. This isn't a measurement that I typically see people do, but I tend to have issues whenever I sew where I have to dart a lot of my clothes because of my boob. Like, I wish I was a joke being like, damn, my big boob's getting in the way, but literally my big boob's getting in the way. So I guess I'm gonna start hacking away at it now. Okay, now that I have it pinned, I'm starting to look a little bit less like young Sheldon. These are just my placeholder pins for right now. I'm gonna like do some more aggressive pinning in a second. But what do you think, young Sheldon or cute woman? I kind of fuck with these like little like cap sleeve looking type things almost. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then I'm like hem to make it look better. But I don't think I don't even think I'm gonna have to add sleeves, which is really nice. Also, the amount of times I've buttoned and unbuttoned this top button, it's gonna make me freak out. Let's talk about some things that I think I want to be wearing in 2025 while I do some pinning, just because I have a few things in mind. I don't know if they'll necessarily fall into trend cycle, all that, but these are just my personal opinions. So the first thing that I don't have a lot of now, but I'm kind of into the idea of, is the Peter Pan collar. I think this kind of goes in line with how last year, like, sailor outfits, I don't really know how you would explain that, but sailor outfits being really popular last year. The Peter Pan collar is like almost in that realm, but not really, just because it's a lot smaller. I've always thought the Peter Pan collar was really cute and dainty. Previously in my life, with the clothing I wore, there wasn't much room for a Peter Pan collar. I would typically only wear it if it was like on a dress, because like obviously like a lot of Peter Pan collars are on dresses. But this has kind of come back into my life because I feel like I finally recovered from the fact that in middle school I had to wear a Peter Pan collar when we went to church, and I don't go to church anymore, so that made me think it was so ugly because it was like part of a school uniform. Now I think they're kind of cute. I just saw a YouTube video, I'll have to look and see what her name is. She was making this jacket, it has like houses all over it, and it's so fucking sick, and I'm like, that is the coolest shit ever. She got the inspiration from this like expensive fucking jacket, but I still think it's awesome that she's making it herself. Anyways, I've always been a fan of jackets with things on them. I have this one jacket that has lighthouses on it that I got, I think, when I was in high school, just because, okay. So the reason I got it was one day I was at a thrift store when I was in high school and I saw the jacket and I'm like, that's fucking sick. But I'm like, nah, I can't buy it. It wasn't the right size. And I was like, I don't know where I would wear this. But like a week later I went back to the thrift store and not really surprisingly, it was still there. But for some reason I was like, it's fate. It's fate, this jacket is coming back to me again. Sort of looks like a blanket that like you'd have at your grandma's house, where it has like a picture of a meadow and there's like a barn on it. It's like a very thick material. But I love that texture. If I could remember what the texture was called, to round out this point, and basically. And I think these type of jackets that have like a fun design on it that's not necessarily like a pattern, but I think they'll come in since we are seeing more fun jackets being. I think people on the internet have collectively agreed that it's time for a new sneaker. Okay, I think I have a different opinion on this than the typical fashion trend predictors. Okay, from my own personal experience. So I would say the past 4 years, my daily shoe has been the Converse. A black Converse, a staple, the Chuck 70s. They're so good. I wear the fuck out of them. Do I have them in here right now? I literally beat the shit out of them. They're so nasty. Anyways, I was talking to my mom because I was asking her to get me another pair of Converse for the next year because they're not expensive, but also buying shoes is just not, I'm just never that necessarily interested in buying a pair of shoes, sue me. But I was at work and I looked up the Converse and I'm like, I love my classic Converse, but I feel like I kind of want to change up my shoe. I love a high top, so then I started to look for other shoes that have the high top look to them, and not a lot of other brands do the high top. The only ones I could find were like ugly as fuck, and I was like, is a high top like a Converse only thing that like that they make them actually look good? I start browsing around. I know the Samba's been huge. I do like the Sambas. I was also looking at the New Balances 547, which were popular like a year or two ago. But also shoes I feel like never go out of style, because if you're getting rid of your tennis shoes every 6 months, we're not in the same tax bracket. Like, how the fuck? They're so expensive. Anyways, I literally just forget the last thing I just said. The Sambas and then also like Asics, like the big chunky white shoe, which I do think is cute. I never bought one just because I don't really wear white shoes. Anyways, I was browsing around when I finally settled on what I asked for my mother to get me, which will be my new shoe for the upcoming year, is a Reebok. I think these are close enough to a Samba in style that I really like them, but they're also a little bit more plain and kind of like a Converse in its own way. So I kind of found like my perfect little shoe baby, but I think I'm gonna get a lot of good wear out of them. I'm also looking forward to wearing some low top shoes just so I can wear more fun socks. My prediction is that the Reebok is going to come into trend and I'm going to be so far ahead of it. Actually, I'm kidding. They're not going to. They are cute, but I think we're gonna see low top shoes that are very small. Like, they're not gonna be, I don't think shoes are gonna be chunky in 2025. Almost flat looking in style. All right, so now that I've finished my pinning, it's time to actually sew. Hoping and praying. This is where it always goes wrong. Or not wrong, but this is where I always struggle with the actual sewing part. I can see, I get the concept. Execution, we're still working on that. We're making some work here. The current state of affairs, I think I really like the shape. It's not tight. I probably could have went a little bit tighter, but that's not a bad thing. I'm just glad that it fits my boobs semi-correctly. Or does this look better? With it flushed my body, I think this might look a little bit better. Oh shit. I like genuinely can't decide if I think I like that like sticks out a little bit or if I want it to be more close to my body. Okay, a little bit of a time jump. I brought it in tighter along the sides. Then I also finished the bottom hem. For the love of God, one day I will figure out what tension to use without having to do a whole fucking stitch and then rip it out and have to redo it. Now for the fun part, we're going to put the flower on. I think I'm gonna do it, or the right side, above my heart. So basically I'm just gonna cut the fabric into little petal shapes. I think I'm gonna do probably the size of my fist. I don't want it very big. So yeah, let's do that. All right, my flower is on. I can't really see it, so I'll get a little closer. She's kind of fun. I think it adds to the look. I think it looks good. See, honestly, I was like, oh, let me style it. I probably would wear it with something like this. Let me stand back. She's not exactly perfect, but neither am I. I'm also new to sewing, so I think this is a win. A win enough, you know? So that was my little thrift flip of the day. I'm quite satisfied. One day I'm gonna take a class, and the class is gonna be how to make shirt with big boobs, because that seems to be my, like, consistent issue. Is I try to make shirts, and because my boobs are big, it just, like, fucking lines up weird. I don't know. That's a lesson for another day, but thank you for watching. I'm posting a really good video soon. I promise it's gonna be really good, so fall for that, and also fall for this video and my other ones. Anyways, have a good day. It's like 5 p.m. now. Been doing this all day.